Hi, everyone. Welcome to Gladys on Love. Thank you so much for being here for this another video. Today, I will be sharing about these three rules that you as a foreigner can use or can apply so that you will be able to have an amazing time living here in the Philippines or visiting here in the Philippines. And this is something that I actually learned from an expat who've been living here in the Philippines for 10 years now, was able to build a beautiful family and have a very cute and adorable daughter. When I heard him state these three rules that he actually used and lived by while being here in the Philippines, I was so surprised. And I really feel like, yeah, I can agree with that. And no wonder he seems to be very happy, grateful, appreciative, and really connects with a lot of local here in the Philippines. So I'm excited to share that with all of you. Now, before I will state those three rules, I just want to share this observation. Like I've talked and been around travelers, expats, a lot of foreigners who come here in the Philippines, and there's this very obvious group, two different groups, very opposite from each other. That I noticed there are group of foreigners who, when they came here, they feel very negative about the country and they feel like a lot of people are taking advantage of them, like the service here sucks and the culture are very limiting, and it's just a total negative experience for them being here. And some of them still choose to live here, even though they have those kind of emotion. And I would really also love if you're someone who's already here in the Philippines and you're feeling that kind of negative emotion. I hope that this three rules that I will share would be helpful for you to shift your experience into this other group of people who, when they come here in the Philippines, they feel really welcome. They feel like they're living in a paradise, being able to connect with a lot of people, being able to experience the culture. It's so easy for them to be able to connect and get along with the locals, and the locals also love them. Now, what is their secret? Now, from this guy named Paul. Paul, if you listen to this, shout out to you. And it was such a very refreshing and so pleasant to be able to meet someone who has the kind of personality that you do, which is very vibrant soul and so grateful. So this is what Paul said that actually allows him to have an amazing experience living here in the Philippines with his wife and daughter. The first thing is don't raise your voice. Filipinos are very sensitive. In our culture, we are not really encouraged to express ourselves. And the only time that we're able to do that is when we're very angry. And when you express yourself in that anger state, everyone will look at you and condemn you. Everyone thinks of you as, you know, an outrageous person, out of control. So it's being really judged and condemned here. And it's sad because sometimes anger can be used as a tool for us to be able to move forward with what we really want to do. And I've noticed there are some foreigners who come here and they get upset. My partner, for example, he gets upset about a very slow service and he would raise his voice. I notice how much it really bothers me. Even though intellectually I can understand, like, of course, we've waited for an hour, and then when someone assisted us, it's like it's our fault that we did not ask question or whatever. So I also feel frustrated and upset, but it's just that I couldn't express it. I just wasn't trained to express my frustration. And it's something that I have to actually learn to express in a way that not necessarily use anger. And when I realized that, it helped me to be able to know that, and also to tell my partner, like, hey, I know you're upset, but please don't raise your voice, because that make people around you, even instead of trying to accommodate you, now that you raise your voice, they get startled, they panic, and they don't even know what to do. They just freeze. So the more that they will not be able to help you out. And I've seen so much improvement in him. I've never heard him get angry or pissed off in a restaurant or everywhere, sometimes with me. But yeah, so much improvement. And I can really say that it's something that to keep in mind. A lot of people here are very sensitive with that. So if there's some disappointment or frustration that you feel with your experience, it would be nice to learn how to communicate in a calmer way. Because also the good thing about Filipinos is they're very apologetic. If they think that they mess up something, and if you just let them know, they will actually do their very best to be able to accommodate you well, to compensate in that. But when you shout at them, they just freeze. You won't be able to do anything. It will make it worse. All right. So that's the first rule to keep in mind. The second will be always remind yourself that you're a visitor in this country. I was so surprised and really amazed when Paul mentioned this as part of the three rules, and I respect him for that. And I think that's beautiful because let's say if you're a guest in someone else's home, if you go inside a house, you if you think of it that way, if that's the scenario, you wouldn't feel judgy, like, I don't like this house, I don't like your food, or go in their fridge, like, oh, it smells bad, blah, blah, blah. You wouldn't be acting that way, right? You wouldn't feel entitled. So I guess that's like the trap for a lot of foreigners who come visit here, and they start feeling this entitlement that, oh, you have such a low standard. This is very unacceptable. I need to be able to receive my order in this. I need to be able to be accommodated this way. Because, and again, I understand that's maybe the standard, that's maybe the thing that you're used to in your country. But coming here in the Philippines, it would be very important to also understand the way people live here, the kind of standards that people live here, and to also keep in mind that as a visitor, I am not here to judge. As a visitor, I am here to just get to know the culture, get to know the people. And in that way, I think that I feel happy and proud for the people here in the Philippines, for my fellow countrymen, because I think we're very hospitable. We're very kind and genuine and nice to foreigners who's visiting our country. If you, as a foreigner, walking and waving to Philips, smiling at them, you will receive genuine and big smile in return. I've heard other countries, you're not able to do that. If you smile and wave to other people, they would find it creepy. But here in the Philippines, we loved it. We really enjoy when people wave at us. We want to wave back. We want to like, hey, hey. You will receive a lot of that, a lot of welcoming vibes, smiling faces, and beautiful, vibrant, sunny, tropical environment. So that's something that you will be welcome here once you arrive. And as a guest, I think it's so nice to also be kind to the people, be more curious, be more interested, and be helpful. to people instead of feeling entitled and judgy. And I think going to that entitlement and judgy side will not really do you any good. It will just cause a lot of like suffering and annoyance inside you. So might as well shift on the other direction. Now, the last rule that Paul mentioned was to talk privately to someone if you want to give a constructive feedback. And I think this really applies when you're living here in the Philippines and you're actually communicating and dealing with some workers. It's hard for us Filipino. When someone is giving us feedback, we don't usually say something back. But deep in our head, we're already seeing you so negatively, especially if you do that in front of other people. That shame, embarrassment, that's all we can feel, and we will be able to focus on, not about the feedback that you're getting, not about how I can improve things. So the mind and focus is not there anymore, but it's more on the shame and guilt that we're feeling. And the tendency, you will not expect this person to do their work or their job better just because you gave them feedback. They're more likely to either quit the job or to mess up again because they're not really learning, they're not really acquiring. And the level of respect that they will give to you is not a respect because they think highly of you, but they just show a respect as a sense of, you're paying me. But either way, if I fuck up this job, I can just leave. And that's sad. I wish for that to also be change in the culture. And I think the best way to do that is to really have a more private conversation with the person. And that also allows them to feel like, oh, you respect them. You don't want to shame them. You don't want to shame them in front of other people. That would gain so much respect from the other people towards you. All right, so I think that's about it that I would love to share when it comes to this topic. And I would love what you think about it. And if you guys have other thoughts on, as a foreigner coming here in the Philippines, what do you think should be the kind of mindset that you have in order for you to have a pleasant experience? And what do you think are one of the reason why there are a lot of foreigners who are getting negative experience here in the Philippines? If you have some thoughts about that, please share it in the comment section below. I'm very curious and also excited to know about it. And if you have some question or if there's a specific topic that you guys would love me to talk about, share it in the comment section below and I'll do my best to reply and respond to all of it. Thank you so much, guys, and have an amazing day.